to Mysteries and Mimosas. My name is Max Sterling, and I am here today with a very, very special co-host. It's the same one that we've been using all along. It's Aria. Welcome to the podcast, Aria.
Thank you, Max, and hi, everyone.
Well, hello there. So are you ready for this very special mysteries and mimosas, plural? Because that's what we do. We present mysteries and we drink mimosas. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, well, let's start this off with some trivia. As always,
Okay.
I've got three very, very difficult, highly unlikely that you'll get these right trivia questions.
That's every single week.
Pretty much. Okay, so number one.
Wait, what year are we in?
Oh, yeah, that's right. 2019.
Okay.
Okay, so number one, do you want it easy or hard first?
Hard. Let's get
Let's
those
get
over
the
with.
hard ones over with?
Yeah.
Okay. The hardest one of them all. Who starred in the film The Joker in 2019?
Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, I played a little trickery on you. That was the easy one.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't get a choice.
Hard. I was like, oh, if that's the hard one, I might stand a chance this week. but-
Incrementally getting harder.
Okay.
All right. In March of 2019, according to Forbes, who became the world's youngest billionaire at the very young age of 21?
Kylie Jenner. Right?
Are you cheating over
No,
there?
I
That
swear.
it was
Yeah,
Kylie
yeah.
Jenner. Good job.
Mhm.
All right. The most difficult question of them all in 2019. And remember, we do trivia from the year of the crime or the year of the missing person or the year of the incident in order to bring you back, our listener, back to the headspace of 2019 if you were alive then. Hopefully you were, because it'd
Yeah,
be
if
weird if
not-
you're listening to this podcast.
Yeah, if you're like 5, I don't think you should be listening to this podcast.
Oh, I'm kind of curious who our youngest fan is. Probably you.
No,
Yeah.
there's people younger than me that listen.
All right. In 2019, which famous film director confessed to having a foot fetish and included 10 minutes of toe shots in his latest blockbuster film?
What?
You heard it here.
Oh, wait, you said it's a director?
It's a director.
Okay. Oh, jeez. Oh. I'm trying to think of what's his name? He played
know, that's what I'm asking you.
Yeah, I know. He played Opie on the Andy Griffith show. Ron Howard?
Nope.
Oh. Steven Spielberg?
No, but that makes sense. That adds up. No, I'm just
I don't know.
kidding.
I'm just naming any directors I know.
I just look at that guy, and in my opinion, he looks like a foot fetish kind of guy.
And I don't really know what a foot fetish kind of guy looks like.
Well, look
but-
at him.
Uh-uh.
That's it. That's your guy. No, actually, when I say this name, you'll be like, oh, yeah, totally makes sense. Quentin Tarantino.
Oh, well, yeah. No, that does make sense.
Yeah.
His movies are interesting.
Yeah, so brings a whole. Do you remember Kill Bill when she's like, wiggle your big toe?
Kind of. I've only seen that one time.
The warning signs were there all along. I'm just saying.
Yeah. And I just really blamed Opie from the Andy Griffith show as to having a foot
shame
fetish.
on you.
I was just trying to think of
Ron Howard.
or what did I call him? Ron.
Opie from the.
Yeah, Ron Howard. No,
Yeah.
I know. I was just trying to think of any directors I knew right off the top of my head, and he came to mind.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't
you
really-
never know.
Yeah,
You never know.
I don't
People
know.
struggle with all kinds of different demons.
I don't think Mayberry had anybody with foot fetishes though.
I don't know. Technically, we've talked about this the illness where people are attracted to children is called pedophilia.
Mm-hmm.
People missay it all the time as pedophilia, pedophile, but
ped
pedo
is feet.
actually is feet.
Yeah.
Pedophilia. So I mean, I
So
don't know
I
if
guess
that's appropriate, but
So is a foot fetish person a pedophile then, technically?
I would say yes. I would say that checks out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that's why we always call it a pedophilia, because pediatrics,
Mm-hmm.
pedophilia.
Oh no,
makes
it
sense.
totally makes sense to me. I get it.
And did you know, you probably know this. I think we've talked about this before, but there is a difference between a child molester and a pedophile. Did you know that?
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure we've had that conversation. But I don't remember specifically.
We did. So a pedophile is a person who has the mental illness, as defined in the DSM, being attracted to children. That is a pedophile.
Mm-hmm.
Child molester is somebody who actually acts on it and commits the crime.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
Correct me if I'm wrong out there if you have any other difference in opinion, but that's what it is. So, mimosa recipe. I actually just threw together a mimosa recipe that I wanted to share.
Okay. So we're moving from feet to mimosas.
Correct.
Everybody stay with us.
Yeah. So, this mimosa recipe was really, really good. In fact, I'm drinking it right now. It's that amazing. This is my second. Favorite champagne or sparkling wine, as usual, as per the usual. There's this vodka. It's a strawberry vodka. We may have used this before. I don't know. It's in the cupboard. It's in the liquor cabinet. It's called Old Blood and Guts.
Gosh, it's so...
A shot of Old Blood and Guts,
gross.
your favorite champagne. And I mixed in pineapple juice with triple sec. It's just a concoction. Triple sec is like an orange liqueur.
Okay.
And it's tasty.
Well, I mean,
it's very, very tasty. Very, very addictive.
I'll just
addicting.
Be honest with everyone out there. I'm drinking coffee because I'm so tired.
Shame on you. This is not coffee and mysteries.
I know.
This is not.
It is today.
Java and mysteries.
It is often for me, honestly. I do drink a lot of coffee.
But you did try this one.
Yeah.
And your thoughts?
That was good.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's like a little tart. It's not too sweet.
It's not too sweet at all. Okay. Today's mystery comes to us from Trinidad, Colorado. This little town, Trinidad, is loaded with rich history. In fact, the entire area of Colorado and New Mexico has a ton of very interesting history, and I'm here to present a mystery and give you a little history.
Wow.
Yeah, lesson. History lesson.
I like it.
Mystery lesson, history lesson.
Nice.
Correct. Located in south central Colorado, just 17 miles from the New Mexico border, Trinidad was first explored by the Spanish and Mexican traders who liked Trinidad because of their close proximity to the Santa Fe Trail.
Makes sense.
It's a trade route.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Oh, I mean,
Santa
if
Fe
it's
Trail?
close to the Santa Fe Trail, then yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's not just a wonderful little trail to go hiking on. They actually traded and trapped and
No, I know.
different things. Yeah.
I'm aware.
Trinidad was founded in 1862, soon after coal was discovered in that region, and it was officially incorporated in 1876, just months before Colorado became a state. Did you know that?
No.
Why would you?
Right.
Trinidad is the kind of place so rich in history that you may feel like you're able to look into the past while standing in the present, especially on the streets that are made of brick from that time. They still have streets made of brick in Trinidad.
Wow.
Many of the Victorian buildings and homes still stand in Trinidad. The library has a stained glass window from Tiffany and Company.
No way.
It does.
Very
Go
cool.
look at it.
I'm going to look it up.
Look it up. Not now.
Okay.
We're busy.
Later.
And I don't know if you knew this part. You don't know anything about
I
Trinidad,
don't
so I'm just
know
going to
it,
stop
yeah.
saying, did you know this?
Right.
Because I'm just going to assume you don't. There's a brothel / saloon in Trinidad that's still standing. It's said to have been frequented by Billy the Kid. It is now a restaurant called Blackjack's.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Very
I can't
cool.
wait to visit. In 1904, there was a storm, very ominous. Flooded the Purgatory River, which kind of feeds into Trinidad. And it nearly wiped out the entire town. There was so much damage that they had to rebuild the town on top of the old town. So there's a town on top of a town.
What?
There's actually an underground city in Trinidad, and there's a tunnel system underground that kind of connects everywhere. Yeah.
That's cool.
I know.
I have to go to this place.
That would be amazing. Have you ever heard of the outlaw? There's an outlaw. His name is Al Capone. You ever heard of that guy?
I've heard of Al Capone. He's not an I mean, it's like
He was an outlaw.
wasn't
You've heard of Al Capone?
Is he a mobster, right?
Yes.
Okay, because I picture like outlaws different. Because I picture like the Wild
I
West.
mean, if you're breaking the law, you're an outlaw.
No, I get that, but like when I think of outlaw, I think of like
Oh,
Josie
you
Wales
thought-
and Billy the Kid and like
Yeah, no, different time zone. But we're talking time period.
okay,
Well, yeah, we're talking about outlaws in general. But you are familiar with Al Capone,
of course.
Yes or no?
Yes, I
Okay.
just said that like 5
Well,
times.
This mystery has nothing to do with Al Capone.
Then
But fun
what?
fact: Al Capone is said to have stayed in Trinidad while on the run, while on the lam. That's what they called it back then. Did you know that?
I did.
Do you know what on the lam is?
Oh my gosh, okay. You gotta stop asking.
I'm
that.
sorry. I just feel a little ornery because you almost swept trivia, so I have to keep asking you if you know things just to make you feel like you're in your place with trivia questions. Okay. Anyway, Al Capone was said to have run liquor through Trinidad during the days of Prohibition. So, speaking of outlaws and liquor, let's talk about Matthew Wayne Griggs, better known as Matt, as you would expect. Matt was born on November 14th, 1972, so he's a Scorpio like myself.
Mhm.
He was the younger brother of 2 boys, and he was also always known as the Wild One. Matt was raised as a military brat, and according to those closest to Matt, when he and his family were stationed in Germany, Matt started kindergarten while his other brother, or his only other brother, started a grade or 2 ahead of him. Because remember, Matt was the youngest.
Mhm.
On the first day of school, Matt's mom arrived to pick up the boys, and the headmaster from that school pulled Matt's mom aside in the very obvious thick German accent, which I can't do.
Mhm.
Told Matt's mom, "Your son did very well. Did very well. He's a very well-behaved child." And then I guess he looks at Matt and he says, "Not that one." Yeah, the other one.
Oh, wow.
So sad.
Yeah.
Sad panda.
It reminds me of that part in Borat where he's like, "Ooh, in my country, the guys go crazy over you," and like the other girl
And
thinks
you,
he's
not so
talking
much.
about her, and he goes, "You, not so much."
Yeah, that's what it
and
reminds
her
me of,
husband
too.
gets all offended. Anyway,
And so, as you can imagine, Matt was quite the handful from an early age. Despite Matt's strong will and character, Matt was not a very mean-spirited person, or he wasn't very violent at all. His family and friends best describe him as wild. And as odd as it sounds, we all have that one family member or friend where you could say, "Oh, that's Matt just being Matt." Do
I
you
think
have
people
that person?
say that about you.
I was going to say, if you don't have that person in your family, you're probably
You are that
person.
person. I'm definitely not that person in my family, but I think maybe you are.
No, I think it's you. Remember, you're described as like a fierce little hatchet dagger, like a hatchet with a dagger hanging out the back.
I can be a little spicy sometimes, but generally I drink coffee and I don't bother anyone.
Well, you bother me, but anyway. And so, as you can imagine, Matt was quite the handful, like I said. One of Matt's friends remembers a time when Matt came into class late as usual, put his head down on the desk, and as you would think, Matt would be fast asleep on this occasion until the psychology professor asked the class if anybody knew what necrophilia is. Well, apparently Matt did, and based on the answer he gave, Matt was not asleep. So I'm guessing there was some kind of inappropriate, rude outburst, is what I'm thinking.
Okay.
Matt is also described by his family and his friends as a highly intelligent individual. But even in his intelligence, Matt had a twisted sense of humor. Matt was one of those headbanging party till the sun came up kind of guys. In fact, his nickname was Matt Talica.
Nice.
I know, right?
I love that.
People call me Max Talica all the time.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I mean, if they
sure.
don't, they should.
Yeah,
Which,
that's
by the way, we
funny.
saw Metallica last year.
we did.
Phenomenal concert.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
That's like a bucket list item.
Oh, yeah. No, it was good. We were so close that, you could just hear the drums, like the drumsticks hitting the head over the music on the speakers. It was,
It was crazy.
yeah, it was BA.
Okay.
Yeah.
It
Trying
was
to
fun.
dial down my curse words.
Yeah.
You get the idea, though. It was BA.
Yeah.
Like, FNBA.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Anyway.
Inappropriate language, sir.
Yeah, so sorry. Matt was known for his twisted sense of humor, his big heart, or his partying, one of the three. Unfortunately,
Maybe all three.
Or maybe all three.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Unfortunately, in Matt's case, his partying turned ugly and into a habit, which was a little bit too extreme. So after college, Matt went into the Navy. Seemed like he was getting his life on track. He was studying technology and communications, and eventually Matt was discharged from the Navy. Before long, he met and married his wife, Ann, in California. Ann and Matt lived in California, where Matt was working construction, and only for a few years he stayed married with Ann until he and Ann got a divorce, and he returned to Trinidad. Obviously, Trinidad is a different place today than as I just described in the 1800s. Trinidad has a little bit more art, side to it, a little more artsy. They have a lot of dispensaries, a lot of nice restaurants. It's one of those communities that has a church or a bar on every single corner. Mm-hmm. But, with the dispensaries comes drugs. They also have a very big drug scene there in Trinidad, and that's where everything went wrong for Matt. There's not a lot of information about this, but I gathered all this information from Matt's family and friends. And so, we have a pretty good picture of what kind of Matt person was. I'm just kidding. What kind of person Matt was. Mm-hmm. We know that he, was the rock and roll kind of guy that liked to party, liked to do drugs, liked to just have fun. And he was kind of a jokester, right? So. But
it sounds like, too, he had a really big heart. And if you were his friends or his family, then
he would do anything for you.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. So this is where the mystery begins. On March 29th of 2019 at 3:28 p.m., the police and the coroner's office were dispatched to a call about a dead body inside Matt's camper. But the strange thing about this report, the dead body inside the camper was that of a guy named Vince Velasquez. The body was not Matt's, but it was inside Matt's trailer.
Okay. And Matt was living in this RV then?
Well, I don't think he was, currently residing with the dead body in there. I don't know that, but yes, he was
that was his
currently
home,
residing there. That was his home, this camper.
That's what I was wondering.
And somehow, I don't know who called the police. There's not a lot of information out there with who the caller was, but this dead body inside Matt's camper was reported.
Okay.
As of today, there's no public information about the cause of Vince's death, but investigators believe Vince's death was suspicious, and rumors have it that it was related to drugs.
Okay.
So there you have it. That's not the entire mystery. What makes this even more mysterious is that by 12:48 a.m. on March 30th, so the next day, the camper was found fully engulfed in flames.
So so bodies discovered at 3:28 on the 29th, and by just after midnight on the 30th, the camper is now engulfed in flames.
Correct. I would assume that between that time, the police had cleared, obviously. They left it. It then gets, cast in flames. When you're doing a death investigation, unless you have some kind of suspicion of foul play early on, you're probably not going to process that crime scene as a homicide scene initially. And
right, but they didn't have anybody sitting on that through the night.
Well, I'm guessing because they probably. So, this is my opinion. I'm just collecting this information based on the very limited information out there. We know that the police think that now think that Vince's death was suspicious, and they think it was possibly drug related. So I'm going to guess or infer that at that time when they responded to the death investigation, they probably thought that they were just doing a death investigation, not a homicide investigation, which is a little bit different, obviously, in the way that you process crime scenes. I'm not saying that they did anything wrong or right, but if you go to a death scene and there's somebody who has died of an apparent overdose, right? Let's just say the extreme circumstance. There's needles hanging out of the arms. Nobody's around. Nothing to indicate that there's foul play. Maybe you might not put as much effort into dusting for fingerprints, looking for DNA inside the trailer, you know, those types of things that you might do. Especially in an elderly situation, and that's not this situation, but in an elderly situation where you have someone who dies in hospice care, for example, you're not even going to bother with that crime scene because you already know why they died or how they died, or you have that information before you get into it, right?
Sure. Either way, so it sounds like they responded and thought that that's what had happened, so they left the scene, cleared the scene, and by just after midnight, somebody had set it on fire.
Correct. So, very suspicious. And so a lot of questions surround that fire. After researching social media posts on the internet, many have theorized different scenarios. So, a couple of these scenarios here. Did Vince overdose on drugs while partying with Matt, prompting Vince's friends to burn Matt's camper down in retaliation, thinking Matt might have had something to do with Vince's death? That's a scenario number one. Or did Matt possibly murder Vince and burn it down to destroy the evidence? That's a possibility. Did somebody else murder Vince and then come back and set the fire hoping to destroy evidence that maybe the police missed initially, and maybe they were hoping to kill Matt? I don't know. There's a lot of information, but what I can say just from an investigative standpoint, look on the outside looking in, and I think we're all thinking the same thing. You have a dead body that's discovered. A day later, less than a day later, less than 24 hours, in fact, the place where the body is found is engulfed in flames. That's what we call suspicious. Would you agree?
Absolutely. Yeah, it wasn't even 12 hours later. It's interesting.
Yeah, less than 24, like I said.
Okay. I was just saying.
Just kidding.
Just being a little more specific. It was even less than 12. It was like very short time frame.
Yeah, still less than 24.
I mean, it's almost like somebody would have had to have been watching the police activity to ensure, like, the scene has been cleared. Now we can go do whatever we're going to do.
Yeah, it's almost like that within 24 hours. Strange.
Or even 12.
Any of these scenarios could be true, right? But according to Matt's family and his friends who are closest to him, despite Matt's crazy lifestyle, they believe Matt doesn't have a killer bone in his body, right? They don't think that he is capable of murder. And so for that reason, they think that would be the least likely scenario. But you fast forward, remember this happened in March, right? We're talking about March 29th and March 30th. So if you fast forward a few months into 2019, into May 22nd, according to news articles, this is the day that Matt last spoke with his mother. And at this point in time, it was reported that Matt was now homeless because his camper burned down, and he was ill with a lung infection.
Okay. So just back up a little bit for clarification. So March 30th, his camper's burned down. The 29th, there's a body found in that camper.
Right, the day before.
Was Matt ever questioned by police related to that or anything? Or did he just, I mean, where was he between March and May?
That's a good question.
Okay.
That information's not available. I'm sure a lot of people know, and that might become clear in a minute. But what I find interesting is from March, the end of March to the end of May, right? 2 months later, Matt is homeless and he has a lung infection. To me, I think probably that lung infection could have been caused by the smoke inhalation from the fire.
Maybe, yeah.
So he talks with his mom on the phone on the 22nd of May, but this is not the last time that anybody saw Matt. It was the last time his mom heard from him, but on the 29th of May, so just a short time later, witnesses have reported seeing Matt at a gathering in the 600 block of Clark Avenue where an altercation involving Matt took place.
So is this like a house party or something then, I take it?
Yeah, I don't know if it's a house party or just a gathering. I mean, it's kind of sounds probably based on Matt's lifestyle. It's probably just a party that he went to, but apparently there's an altercation. I don't know who's involved in this altercation. I don't know if it has anything to do with Vince. We can speculate that. Like I said, there's not a lot of information about who is involved in that, but I'm sure detectives like to keep that type of information pretty close to the vest because initially the Colorado Bureau of Investigations had Matt listed as a missing person. within the last 2 years, the Colorado Bureau of Investigation changed the status of Matt from a missing person to an unsolved homicide case. But there's no public information available to indicate whether or not Matt's remains were ever found.
Okay, well then, yeah, that's certainly interesting. They changed it from a missing person to a homicide investigation. Normally, it's not even like they changed it to a death investigation. They specified that it was a homicide. So you would almost think that they would have had to have found him.
Well, either they found him or they have very good information that they know something ominous happened to him and they haven't recovered his remains. I don't know whether or not Matt's remains were ever found. There's literally no information on the internet available about this. All we know is Matt was initially reported as a missing person. He was listed on the CBI webpage as a missing person. That was later changed to a cold case homicide.
I got nothing. I think that's so strange. Like,
Yeah.
if they found a body, his family would know that. They have to contact the family and say, we found your son or your brother or whoever. And then they have like a funeral and all of that.
Yeah, you would think so. I don't think that a funeral, I'm gathering this information from a couple sources. Very limited news articles, right? Social media posts on Facebook with speculation from people. And I've talked to some of Matt's closest friends. So I believe that if there was a funeral, if there was information about Matt's body, then probably we would know that.
Mm-hmm. Well, it probably would have been in the news.
It would have been in the news. There's no obituary that I was able to find. So it is a very interesting case. But, what happened to Vince?
Right.
Why is his body dead inside Matt's camper?
Right.
And then
2 months later, disappears after
Matt goes on the lam.
Well, or after an altercation at a house party, he disappears. So
Do you see what I did there?
Mm-hmm.
He was like, what's that guy's name? The mafia guy, the mobster guy.
Al Capone.
Yeah, remember they were both on the lam for a short period of time.
Got it. I'm just super curious about this. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Doesn't make any sense to me either.
And I know there's information, obviously, that we just don't have access to that the police know. But, I just want to know, okay, between the end of March and the end of May, where was Matt all this time? I know he's obviously homeless now because his camper went up in flames. But,
is he couch surfing?
Right. Where is he? And have the cops gone and spoken to him and said, hey, we found this guy's dead body in your camper. And then less than 12 hours later, your camper was on fire. I'm sure they had to have been speaking with him about that. I don't know. I'm so confused.
Well, like you said, there's a lot of information that we don't know. Perhaps the suspiciousness of a dead body being inside Matt's camper intensifies once there was a camper fire.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they had information that Matt was responsible and a warrant was issued that we don't know about.
Right. And so maybe he was...
Yeah. Maybe there's
that.
There's a lot. Here's what I do know. Here's the fact that I can speak to. There's a lot of information inside the investigation surrounding Vince's body, Matt's disappearance and subsequent homicide investigation, and the fire that we may never know until this case is solved. So that's the mystery. There's a lot of mysteries here, which is why it's the perfect case for mysteries and mimosas, because we just don't know. There's a lot of stuff that makes you go, wow, that's super mysterious.
Mm-hmm.
And so, if you have any information about Matt or his whereabouts, or if you have any information that can help detectives solve Matt's homicide, or if you have any information related to Vince Velasquez's death, please contact Crime Stoppers at 719-542-STOP, or you can call the Trinidad Police Department at 719-846-4441. What do you think of that?
It's very mysterious, very interesting. I have so many questions now after that.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
There you have it. The very curious, strange, mysterious case of Matthew Wayne Griggs. All right, so thank you for listening. That's all we have for you. Unfortunately, today there's not a lot of information on this Mysteries and Mimosas episode, but you can always catch up with us on our website, mysteriesandmimosas.net. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Mysteries and Mimosas Podcast. And don't forget, we are super happy to drink our mimosas and apparently our coffee now. Since it's Javas and Mimosas, or wait,
No.
Mysteries and Javas.
Yeah.
We were very happy to drink our mimosas or our favorite beverage that's not a mimosa out of our dragon glassware glasses.
Mm-hmm.
They're featured on our website. They're featured on our social media. And if you've not seen these glassware items, you need to go pick up a pair or two. They're pretty awesome. They're super,
really cool.
They're a hit. I mean, we give them away as gifts and people love them.
Mm-hmm.
So...
It's a true story.
It's a very true story. Yeah, check them out. And if you want a little bit of a promo or a little bit of money off, they'll give you 10% off your entire order if you enter the promo code Mysteries and Mimosas Podcast at checkout. They don't just give you 10% off a couple glasses. They give you 10% off your entire order, which I think is pretty awesome.
It's a stock up.
And it helps us out. So, one last thing. If you're listening to this on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or anywhere you stream your favorite show, click the little thing on there that gives us 5 stars because I'm worthy of at least 1. Arya gets the other 4.
I agree with that.
Yeah, you would agree with that. What else you got? You got anything for me?
I have nothing.
Of course you don't.
I'm sorry. I'm in this space now thinking about this case. I have so many questions. I gotta, I don't know.
Yeah.
I want to know.
Okay, I have a couple questions for you. What did you think of my history lesson of Trinidad?
I liked it.
We've actually been through Trinidad. We stayed in Cimarron, New Mexico at a place called the St. James Hotel.
Mm-hmm.
You want to talk about a creepy, crazy cool place?
That's a really cool place.
So the St. James Hotel was like the biggest hotel this side of the Mississippi in the 1800s, right?
Yeah, and Wyatt Earp stayed there. And
all the lawmen and
James.
outlaws.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jesse James, Wyatt Earp, Billy the Kid. Who else? Bat Masterson,
Mm-hmm.
Annie Oakley.
Yeah. Who's Wyatt Earp's buddy?
Oh, the guy with tuberculosis.
Yeah. What
With the lung infection, like
mhm.
Matt.
Yes.
Oh,
Why can't I think of his name?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Where,
That's a
on
trivia
Tombstone,
question that
he
you're
says,
putting me through right now.
I'll be your Huckleberry.
No,
that
I don't
guy.
think that's what he says.
Yes, it is.
I think he says, "I'm your Huckleberry."
No. That's interesting. I remember it as I'll be your Huckleberry.
I think you remember it wrong.
Okay. Well,
Google it real quick.
Regardless, he says something about a Huckleberry, and I can't think of his name.
Yeah, Doc Holliday.
Doc Holliday, of course. Yes.
Did you know that Doc Holliday went to a place in Colorado? Also, there's like a hot springs place up in Glenwood, near Glenwood Springs. It's in Glenwood Canyon. And he went up there to die because they said that the steam and stuff from the minerals from the hot springs would help him with his tuberculosis. But he ended up dying up there.
Yes, he did.
Did you find it yet?
Let me see. I'm trying.
Maybe you're right. Now I'm second guessing myself.
No, it's you're right. I'm your Huckleberry. You're right. I'm wrong.
Oh man, I'm never gonna delete this episode, or at least not that part. I want it. What is this? We are 35 minutes, 14 seconds into the episode, and I win.
Yes.
All I do is win.
Oh my gosh. I love that movie though. It is a good movie.
Yeah, it's a really good movie.
And anyway, the St. James Hotel, really cool place. It has a really cool restaurant, and the original bar is in there, and the ceiling has bullet holes from
the 1800s. Yeah,
gunfights.
from gunfire. And it was featured. This is one of our favorite things to do. We like to visit cool places like this, and it was featured in Unsolved Mysteries.
And
they say it's one of the most haunted hotels that you can ever visit.
And when we were there, they were doing a paranormal investigation, because there's a newer part of the hotel that
it's
has
called
a little bit,
the Annex.
Yeah, and it's a little bit more modern, but you can stay in the original part. And all the rooms are named after the people that would regularly come and stay in those rooms. Like they have the Annie Oakley, the Doc Holliday, Wyatt Earp. They have all those, the Bat Masterson room. And then there is one room that you can't go in because a person was shot and killed there after a gambling dispute.
Yes. So the story goes, this is from Unsolved Mysteries. We are not affiliated with them, by the way. We should be, though. Robert Stack.
I'm a huge fan. Like, I loved watching Unsolved Mysteries as a kid.
Yeah, dude. Could you imagine if it was Robert Stack and Aria Sterling on Mysteries and Mimosas? Unsolved Mysteries and Mimosas? We could totally do that.
It would be so much better than you and I on here. I'm just kidding.
That's, you're not. That's totally true. But anyway, okay, so, so they have like a Jesse James room where he always stayed in this particular room because it was like close to the horse stable. So if the police came or, sheriff's office or whatever, he had a quick exit strategy. You used to be able to, I guess, see the, because I went there when I was a kid, but you used to be able to see the original registry with their signatures and everything on when they signed in, and I think it's in a museum now.
It is. We asked them, remember? We're
Yeah.
like, hey, didn't you have this book last time? And they're like, oh, not anymore. We sent it.
Sorry, I got sidetracked. Yeah, so the scary room that you're not allowed into, they say it was housed by a guy named TJ. I think his name was
TJ Hooker, maybe, I think?
No, dude.
Am I making stuff up?
Oh my God. Google TJ Hooker and then we'll have a good laugh. Go ahead.
Is that not his
Just
name?
Google it.
I'm not going to Google
Please
it.
just Google it. Nothing inappropriate will show up. Google TJ Hooker.
Why did
let
I
me
say
finish my
that?
story and let me know when you have it pulled up. Do images. Anyway, so TJ, not the hooker, lost the...
Oh, that's a series.
Yeah.
That's why I came to my mind. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway,
What's
TJ,
his name then?
TJ something, not hooker.
Okay.
Yeah, so apparently the story goes that this individual who haunts the St. James Hotel won the hotel in a poker game, and so he was shot and killed there, and as revenge, he roams the halls.
It's TJ Wright. And
TJ Wright, there you go.
He's the ghost of Room 18. Room 18, you can't go in there.
Yeah.
It's too scary.
Bucket list. Put it on your bucket list right now. I will, not you, our listeners. Put it on your bucket list. I will wait. Is it on there? Good.
Yeah. No, it's a really cool place.
It is a cool place.
And the food is really good there, too.
Oh, yeah. They have buffalo burgers.
Yeah. It's really good. It's a cool little place. I mean, it is a tiny town. There's really nothing there. There's like couple of antique stores and like a little coffee place and then the hotel. And you can go see the old jail, like the original jail there.
Here's what you do. You fly into Albuquerque. You go to the nearby casino called Buffalo Thunder. You gamble and win. Mm-hmm. And then you take your family over to the St. James Hotel and you challenge TJ Wright, not TJ Hooker, to an arm wrestling, Indian leg wrestling competition. And you lose.
Oh, and when you drive there, you should try to drive through Angel Fire.
Beautiful. Yep.
It's a really cool place,
actually,
too.
New Mexico's really a good place. I like it. Another place I really like, St. Augustine.
Oh, well, yeah.
Florida. Love that place.
Probably one of my favorite places ever. I love that place.
All right. That's enough of that. Thank you for joining us on Mysteries and Mimosas. We are so thrilled that you are listening, and we hope that you hit the like and subscribe button and give us a good rating. Remember, Aria gets 1 star, I get 4.
Sure. Well, I'm going to go now and watch an episode of TJ Hooker.
Followed by an episode of Unsolved Mysteries.
Yep, I gotta do them both.
Very well. Signing off, this episode is done, son.
Cheers.
Cheers.